You're listening to Season 4 of the Bokur Broadcast, a War Machine podcast based on the NJSOB meta. So sit back, take a listen. We are going to explore the game, the rules, the fluff, and anything else that catches our attention. Thanks for finding us, because these Bokers are ready to brawl.
And welcome to Season 4, Episode 6 of the Bokur Broadcast. I'm your host, Seth Cohn, and with me, as always, is...
Stephen Rapido.
And...
the most influential man in War Machine, Staten Island's own RDC.
He's
Excellent.
back.
Big day today.
Yeah.
Big day today.
It is a big day today. Hey, if you have found the podcast today, first, thank you very much. We are in a little bit of a transition. More than dice.
No. Again, we're not in a transition. We're in an uptick. Okay, we're rising like stars that we are.
In a fantastic turn of events. Is that what
There
you
you
wanted me to say?
go. And see,
Okay.
now you're getting it.
All right. So More Than Dice is no longer going to be doing any kind of War Machine content. And they said, hey, we'd like you guys to kind of find your own way and get yourself onto the interwebs on your own. No one should, kind of assume any kind of negative there. It's just they're transitioning, we're transitioning. And, so
Things
here we are.
growing. That's what we're growing.
Yeah. So we are, should be able to be found on the Apple Podcast, the Google Podcast, Spotify, YouTube, which that might be a little bit later, but that's going to happen also. And then if anyone has any suggestions on places they'd like to find our podcast, let me know. I'm willing to put it up there. So here we are. And to add to that fantastic turn of events, we will also be hosting Blightbringers. You will, if you like if you like Blightbringers, like you should, you will be able to find their podcast on our feed as well. If you're not familiar, you should listen to what they do, because they are a great podcast. That is Nate Magnin, who is a former NJSOB and a fantastic player, an all-around great guy, and Ryan Schmidt, the funniest man in War Machine. So those two guys together, the Lightbringers podcast, you can catch it here with us as well. All right, on to our regular Brawl business. We will start with some Brawl news. We have our 10th anniversary coming up this May, first weekend of May for the Bokur Brawl 2026. And we have our 10th anniversary t-shirts up in the t-shirt store. Mr. Rabideau, where can they find that t-shirt store?
All right. Well, if you go to the website, thebokurbrawl.com, and you scroll down to our sponsors, you just click on Just Another Nerd Store, the link there, and that'll take you to where our t-shirts are available.
All right.
We've got some great stuff here. We've got some more, even like jerseys, I would say, than t-shirts, really. We've got jerseys, we've got t-shirts, we've got hoodies, we've got hats, all kinds of stuff. Really, more things than I thought you could put a logo on, but they're all there.
And for the 10th anniversary, we have a very special t-shirt. We have a t-shirt we have made just for the Big Base Brawl. And it says, go Big Base or go home. And featured prominently on the front is the Fatty Phantasm. That would be a huge base Phantasm model shaking its big fatty bottom right there on the t-shirt for you. So make sure you go check that out and order 20. Okay. Anything else, Bokur Brawl?
Did you just tell people to order 20?
Yeah, it was just a clever little play on words there, Arthur. Don't get upset.
No, that's fantastic. No, that's the right attitude. That's right, folks. Go get 20 of them. Christmas gifts for everybody.
Yeah.
That's right. Christmas gifts.
Don't be that guy.
The Bokur Brawl 10th anniversary 10-ounce rocks glass. Excellent gift. Excellent gift.
And there's a water bottle there too, right?
There's a water bottle.
There should be.
Yep, there is absolutely a water bottle. There's several t-shirts, like you said. There is a jersey. Go Brawl or Go Home t-shirt, which is separate from the Phantasm.
Yep. And if you are bringing a team to the Bokur Brawl, which you should, there you can order your team jersey through Just Another Nerd Store and customize the team name on the back. We will do that for you. We will talk about this stuff again, but certainly order some good stuff. I'm going to order a jersey for me and my wife to wear at Captain Con. And I don't know, maybe we'll debut the Fat Phantasm there at Captain Con as well. We will see. Anything else for Brawl before we move forward?
I don't think so, other than to remind people that it's May 1st to 3rd, 2026.
Yep. And we
10th
start
anniversary.
We start our ticket sales February 15th, as we do every year.
It's going to be bigger than ever.
Yes, it will be. Okay, so let's move on to other local happenings and things. Before I ask Mr. Rabideau to report on the Winter Argus, I would like to mention briefly that we are having a post-rules update tournament at Sanctorum Games in Flemington, New Jersey. It is a new store. If you ever went to Toget, the management at Toget is now the management and owner of Sanctorum Games, and they are just getting started. They've got a great play space. It is fantastically located. It's got a parking lot in the back. It's right on Main Street in Flemington, next to a pizza place, next to a restaurant, across from a bagel place, across from a bodega, and across from a donut shop. I don't think you can hit any more things that gamers are going to want throughout a day than that. And it's a good location. So that's going to be on January 23rd. It is already sold out, but get on the wait list because we all know what happens. We're like a month out, so people are going to say, oh, wait, I can't go. And you want to make sure that your name's on the top of that list. Before we move on to other things, I know that we had the Winter Argus. I was not able to go this year. I did not take my own advice and had friends outside of War Machine who wanted to see me. So I took a trip down to see some old friends, had a nice time, spending the whole time there, wishing I were at the Winter Argus playing. Mr. Rabideau, take it away. Tell us about the Winter Argus.
Well, the Winter Argus is a fantastic event put on by the Delaware crew, specifically by Andy and Erica. And so basically, the conceit of it is, the origin story is that they asked Privateer Press several years ago for prize support towards a year-end event. And what they received was 20-something Winter Arguses. So hence the Winter Argus invitation.
Math on that checks out.
Yep. But the sort of catch here is the incentive to go is that everybody gets a present. They literally wrap prize support. So there's miniatures, from all different areas, all different factions, some mini crates, some Mark IV stuff, some legacy stuff. It all gets wrapped up, and the participants get to pick a present from under the tree at the end of the event.
Oh,
so it's pretty fun. And then this year we did a little bit of a bake sale, although there was no selling. It was for free. And I made cookies, and Andy made incredible muffins. I gotta say, they were amazing. They had this orange sugar on top, and I think it was cranberries inside. It was delicious.
That would be a type of muffin, orange cranberry. Yep. Very good.
It was fantastic. It was phenomenal. So I highly recommend signing up and attending for next year. This year we had, I think 20 or I think it was 18 players in the end, because of course, there's always drops the day of.
Yeah, it was 20. It was 26, and it dropped to 18 the day of.
Yeah,
really?
Which is a pretty good attrition rate.
What's that, Arthur?
8 losers decided not to show?
Yeah, although I think the weather had something to do with it. It was supposed to, it did. That area got 8 inches of snow starting Saturday night. So some people got scared off.
Minor
detail.
Yeah, what can I tell you? All right, so we had predicted that it was going to be the greatest Jenk show in the history of Jenk shows. What kind of lists and armies did you see there?
Well, 7 out of 18 were playing Old Umbry, including myself.
Wow.
So that was a lot, I would say.
Yes.
I did get several comments about how I brought real lists to a Jenk show. But I would contend.
And who won the event?
It was me.
Yeah.
It was me.
Yeah.
What a jerk.
Second place
everyone
Pete,
showed up with marshmallows, and you brought a flame.
and we made delicious s'mores. that I got to eat.
See, I just want you to know, Seth, I was talking to Steve earlier, and you know how just now he said, well, second place got whatever?
Yeah.
When I was talking to him privately, he said first loser got.
Yeah.
So, you know, the try hard continues.
Okay. So, in all seriousness, was there a lot of differences in the old Umbri lists? Were there like a lot of variations, or were people all trying the similar kind of things?
So personally, I brought Galina and Aslanov, and in my defense, I did not drop Aslanov once. This is just two lists that I actually like to play. I actually first round was into Dan Raven, who is also playing Old Umbry, and he also brought Galina and Aslanov. So we had a Galina off, and my Galina was Galinier. And then round 3, I played against Portal Dave, who was bringing Yana and Galina. So Yana, I think, is a little bit uncommon there, but it is his favorite caster. The Galina list was just sort of perfunctory. It's just like, well, second list because whatever.
Yeah, Dave did pretty well on the day, as I recall. Looking at once again, he's going to have to stop calling himself a filthy casual if he's going to play so competently.
Yeah, I think Old Umbry really matches his playstyle, specifically with the casters. Yana in particular really matches his playstyle.
That is good.
So then Rob Oslo also played Old Umbry, and he brought Aslanov and Reznikova, which is pretty cool. Both very strong casters. I think the thing is that with Old Umbry, there's not really a weak caster. So if you're bringing them, you're bringing the heat, you know?
Yeah.
Well, let me get a few games in with them. I'll have plenty to complain about.
Yeah.
There you go.
Although I am curious what the elimination of the rack is going to do to that faction. You know, I know they're not going to change a whole ton of it. I mean, it just came out, but at the same time, the rack's going to change every faction. I'm curious to see, or lack of rack is going to change every faction.
Yeah, that's actually a really good point, because the whole game is actually going to shift.
Yeah, it sure is. It sure is.
Yeah. So to get into a little bit more janky stuff. So I know that Chris Gunther, who came in third, he played Mortenebra or Mortenabra, some people say, and Nicane. And the Mortenabra list had 6 Raptors in it, which is kind of odd. And 0, what are they called? The Thralls. 0 of those little guys. Actually, between his 2 lists, he had no Mechanothrons, which is, I think, unusual.
Yeah.
He did play a Hellraker. He did play a Hellraker, and for that, he is going to be punished. So
punished by not coming in first and having to come in third.
Exactly. Although it looks like he dropped Mortenebra every time, so we'll give him a little.
Just say Mortenebra, please, because you're killing me.
Mortenebra.
There it is. What did Riker play?
Riker played Armored Core, which is pretty interesting.
Yeah.
He did go 1 and 2, which I think goes to show that no matter how good you are, no matter how many conventions you win, Armored Core, not great.
He was like,
That's proof right there.
I'm done winning absolutely everything there is to win in 2025. I'm just going to go to the Winter Argus and make Armored Core look bad. That was his plan, clearly.
Yeah. So I'm going to do a quick check here on the list he brought, but I believe that within his list, there's a 1, 2, 3, 4. I think between both lists, there's something like 8 or 9, maybe 12 models across both lists that are above speed 4.
Wow.
So, well, I guess the Juggernauts and whatever. The Sorcerer list has jacks that are actually speed 5, I think. Are they speed 5? I don't know. It's a long time. But from after the event, what he said was speed 4 is bad. So
yeah. Heard it here first. Well,
actually, I lied. All the jacks are speed 4. So I think across both lists, speed 4 is only exceeded like once or twice. Like the Grey Lord Turnians are not speed 4, and that's basically it. Grey Lorturnians and the casters are not speed 4. And that is tough. That is tough. So our
This is a palate cleanser for him. He's gonna,
Yeah.
I'm sure, move back into Orgoth at after the update.
yeah,
He was just
three-
reminding himself of why he keeps those models in his closet.
right,
They may have been
exactly.
Schwenke's. They might have been Schwenke's models. You
Actually,
never know.
they're probably mine.
Oh, fair enough.
Could be.
Yeah.
Could be. Yeah, last round was 2 fronts, mid round was wolves, first round was trench warfare, all of which require you to move across the table.
Yep.
Not great when you're speed 4.
Yep.
Not great.
Was I know we don't have a real answer to what the new steamroller is going to look like, but was anyone was there any open talk about desire to change any of the 3 that you guys were playing that day? Like
No, I don't think so. I mean, I have my complaints about 2 fronts. I think trench warfare and wolves are pretty good. Wolves obviously needs a little bit of cleaning up, in my opinion, with like the turn that you cross, because it's not intuitive. Because it's one of those things where it's like technically you don't cross the center line after you move it 3 times or something like that. Like your base is still touching the center line, although you're fully over it, but your base is still touching.
Yep.
So I think that needs a little cleanup. But it seems like a fine scenario otherwise. 2 fronts, my complaint is if your opponent goes up like 5-1 or 6-1 or 5-0 or something like that, the only way of getting back into the game is double scoring, and that's difficult. So that's my main complaint with 2 fronts, is it advantages second player quite a bit. But I think overall, like, those 3 scenarios are fine-ish. Trench warfare, no complaints. I like that one.
Okay. Yeah, I was just curious to hear what the chatter was.
I want to say I've already said 2 of my opponents, Dave Portal and Dan Raven. My second round opponent was Derek Senstrom, who is an excellent player. He played Lilith, which I think is a little off meta for sure. I should say in Chimera.
Yeah, we were. He's in another chat that I am in, and he kind of threw it out to the chat. What should I play? And my answer was the jankiest jank that ever janked the jank.
And I appreciate that you told him to do that.
Yeah, I bet you do. Yeah, it's always great to see Derek out at stuff. I told him, hey, I have like 1 spot left on the 23rd, and like I think before I got done typing, he'd already signed up and taken that last spot. Because between everyone wanting to try the new stuff, and then a week later is Captain Con. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I shouldn't be surprised that it sold out in a couple of days, but I was surprised. So I think we'll just have to start planning that as like a regular event. I know the post rules release and getting ready for Captain Con. That is, of course, assuming that they give us a date like they did this year, which I think is amazing, by the way. I love that they gave us the date that we can expect the rules drop, which is much better than everyone said, well, it can't be the first week of January. Is it this week? Is it this week? And then we're all like on pins and needles till it happens.
Yep.
So,
They must have someone over there that doesn't believe in rules by committee.
What?
SFG must have someone over there that does not believe in rules by committee. Or we have to talk about everything as a group before we actually decide on something. So therefore, they're able to move a little bit more dynamically.
I think it more has to do with an overall plan that they are enacting. I would have to say that I do for all of our complaints, and we can always complain, right? But for all of our complaints about number of models available and are they selling this and the things that we complain about, I do feel like each year they're getting a better handle on what they're doing and how to do it with the community. So
that's you guys. I mean, I have no complaints. So.
Yeah, fair enough. But case in point.
I mean, after all those dwarves that came out, what can I possibly complain about?
It's starting to get some traction. I'm hearing more than just you complain about lack of dwarves. I'm really hoping that they turn into an STL faction.
Well, that would be the existing dwarves. How about some nice new ones?
Well, they put new units into.
No, how about all new ones?
Okay, so unless it is a brand new army in a box, you're not interested.
No. I'm not going to go that far. That would be too extreme.
Okay.
All I'm simply saying is if they would just let me design a couple of models, right? Something like a Gatling howitzer cannon and
Gatling howitzer cannon.
yeah, why not? It's something casual. Something like 24-inch range.
Yeah, that's my next guess. Is that going to be range like 47 inches? Right?
Well, I like to stick with even numbers because I don't want people to get confused by the rules. So I'm thinking like range 24, pow 24, something like that. Casual. Just very, very casual.
Put it on an 80 millimeter. Give it 24 boxes.
See, now, I like the way you're thinking right now. Yes.
Armor 24. Yeah. Okay. Sure. I think that would work really well.
Yeah, that sounds good.
Yeah. So Andy and Erica seem to have knocked it out of the park yet again. And next year, I'm gonna definitely, make it my business to be there. I know and I will just make sure I see my other friends a lot before then. So it's not because currently it's like the once a year we all get together, right? And then I haven't been there the last 2 years. So I'll just have to, make more time for people during the year so I can skip this one and be at the Winter Argus. Anything else you want to talk about from that event?
I would just say that Galena is a very fun caster. I like her a lot. She's very mobile. She does a lot of cool things. And I shot a trident off the board, which is fun.
Oh, yeah.
So. Oh, wait, sorry. That was not at that event. That was my league game. Shot trident off the board. I shot a lot of other things off the board.
I bet you did.
Yeah, ever notice how Steve always says, "Oh, I like this model because I X," and then it's always like, "I killed this, I blew that up, I destroyed this." He never said that about a model that does nothing. Like, "Oh, I love the model. Unfortunately, it died every game, but I really liked it." Never. It's always like based on death.
His love is conditional upon the model's ability to perform on the table.
Well, not even perform. I think what Arthur is highlighting, and I think is true, is killing. Yeah. I want it to kill. Veroni is cool, right? He's cool. He does corpse stuff. He throws it around. Doesn't kill a lot though, so you won't hear me singing his praises. You know who's great? The Animist, because he kills so many guys. My own guys mostly, but he kills them, and it's great.
And why is the Animist killing your own guys? To give you souls?
Turn them into corpses, of course.
You know what? I should have stuck around to play you tonight at Koros because I just don't know what that army does yet.
Oh man, the corpse economy was in the it was just trash. It was trash this evening.
Okay.
So I will say that. A lot of ones, couple twos, no threes.
What present did you pick out from under the tree?
Oh, because I won, I just got store credit. I did not pick a present from under the tree.
Well, hey, you can't have everything, man. Did you get anything with your store credit, or are you just saving it up?
I did. I bought a second unit of Ursons, the Liegeman Ursons. So that's pretty fun. You'll see those guys on the table at some point in the new year because I was hesitant to get a second one myself because they're pretty good and they might take a hit in January for sure. They might. We'll see. Okay. But so I was like, you know what? I'm not going to buy a second unit. I don't typically like to double up on things that I don't think I'm actually going to use. And a big thing in Mark IV has been you can play pretty much one of everything in my experience. Like you can often play one of everything and build a pretty decent list. And I like actually playing with the models, so I don't typically like to double up.
Okay.
So, but this time I did because it was like, hey, store credit. So.
Right, was it when you get it for free, you're kind of getting it guilt free.
Exactly.
All right. Well, I know that's the last tournament we're going to play unless someone does something in early January before the update. But otherwise, it's we're not going to really play again till game nights and the next tournament at Sanctorum Games in Flemington. But since it is the end of the year and we are wrapping up, as it were, we wanted to take some time and talk about some of the fluff. We did not talk about enough fluff per episode, in my opinion. So I wanted to take some time and talk about it. I do like the fluff that they have out there for us. And Steve, you did some extra reading for me, and I appreciate. Where would you want to start?
Well, I got through all the interstitials, so that's probably the place to start.
Okay.
Because that's,
So
I think, also the most recent piece of fluff is like interstitial 4. So maybe we take a look at those.
interstitial 4. So
But
yeah.
But I guess let's not start there. Let's start with interstitial 1, because
Okay.
that's what I read today.
Well, tell us about interstitial 1 and what you liked about it.
Well, it's what I like is it is a very human story. And I think a key thing in fantasy writing is to keep writing human stories. Like it's very important to have like, I don't know, it's just like real stuff happening. And what's happening in
Yes.
this guy's having a crisis of faith. So it's specifically about Malachus, and he's just sitting in a ruined Mennonite chapel, and just sort of like thinking about everything he's done, everything that has transpired, and what was it all for? Like what's going on?
Talk about human, right? He's sitting there going, why? So it not only resonates with the character and what's happening in his world and Menoth in general, it's certainly something we can relate to. I agree with you.
Yeah. So it gives some very interesting like insight into his backstory, where he was, I think it highlights that he was like in an orphanage.
Yeah.
And he suffered greatly there, and then he left, he like escaped. Now, I think there was an interesting line in here, which I may or may not be able to find real quick, where it almost implies that he burned down the orphanage when he left.
Yeah, I got that. It was, him.
He's like the little chubby kid from Deadpool 2.
Right. He was like, I have to think back now, but it was.
Oh, here we
like,
go. Yeah.
He's standing on the street, right, in the watching the fire, right? It was that kind of a thing.
No, so it says he found escape from the dark oppressive place through the purity of fire.
Okay.
Which makes me think he burned it down.
Right. I thought there was a part that talked about him like standing on the street with the fire, but
there is a part that talks about like his experience as a flame guard, which
okay.
Like when you have the sort of like spectrum of good and evil in the exemplar area, it's like paladins are pretty good. Exemplar are like neutral because they're very much just at the will of the scrutator, which is often bad, but that's what they do. And then the flame guard are bad. Their main job is like burning Mennonites. Like they don't go on the office. they go like internal stuff. So that was his job. Yeah. But yeah, it's basically like it's very interesting how his faith came when he was like, the priest was like, hey, your suffering has meaning. And he was like, wow, that sets a lot of things right for me. And then he does a bunch of stuff, and then at the end it's just all like he's done all this stuff, and then here it all is like it's all destroyed. So like what was this actually all for? Like he has lost the meaning in his life. Right. And so like that has set him adrift again. Like the problem he had before has come back and he's adrift.
Yeah, now as I recall, there's no real resolution of the story other than he's just really, like you say, adrift. Right.
Yep, that's how it ends.
And it made me think that they're setting that story up to help introduce the announcement in March at Adepticon, right? It is March, right?
Adepticon.
About what's going to happen with Menoth, which I think is kind of cool.
Yep.
I like that.
I agree.
Did you read The Old Ways?
I read part of it. I
read that. I thought they did they do a really nice job kind of explaining without like just listing out facts the connection between the devourer worm, the old witch, the way people lived, and the ley lines and all those kinds of things, and the ley lines where the corrupting power is, and certain beasts and things were tainted at that point, and how humans become involved. And then at one point I'm reading through all this stuff and I'm thinking, like, I don't like when they have to retcon things. I understand you have a new edition of a game, you don't write it from the fluff up, right? You create the game and write your fluff to match it. And it was like, oh, well, you're kind of going back and saying, well, the old witch had access to this or that, but didn't use it in the earlier stuff where, her back was up against the wall. It really could have saved Iberin. But then they kind of, there's kind of this feeling of, and I don't know if it was in that or the what's the new colossal called? The Gorger? Is that the hold up right? Yeah. Or it could have been in the Gorger piece where it was something like, she doesn't necessarily see crystal clear the future. She just has these feelings when she's going to use certain pieces and certain moves on her chessboard that is Iberin, right? And I like the way, like, they didn't come out and expressly say that, but you got that definite subtext from the way they were describing things. And I liked how they were talking about how the Gorgers could take on many shapes, and it was very much like when they first brought out the troll gargantuans, these giant trolls that were just asleep in the mountains, and one of the warlocks woke them all up. I forget which one.
Doomshaper. Doomshaper
woke them all up. It was very similar. She's like, okay, I'm going to wake these Gorgers up now because I need to use them. And if I wasn't controlling them with my overall use of magic, they would just be eating everything else around them. They'd just be swallowing the world up whole, right? But I've got them under control and allowing the old Umbri faction to use them. And I thought that was kind of cool too. I definitely like where they connected the fluff and the history all together, so that like old Umbri made more sense to me after reading that. If you understand what I mean. Like the different parts of the army connected to each other with that. I really like that. All right, Intercestial 2 weakness, which I don't think I read this one. You're gonna have to go yourself on that.
Yeah. So the sort of like plot moving forward in 2 and 3. So Interstitial 2 weakness and Interstitial 3 the hunt is the fall of Ord. So the country of Ord being overrun by the Orgoths.
Yeah.
So in 2, it sort of initially tracks the destruction, like the fall and the sack of, I think Marin is the name of the city. And so it's told from the perspective of Cyrafel, who is a dusk caster. But basically it's just about how, like, initially I think she's like skeptical, or she sees that like Ord is not tactically significant. Like there's not really a reason to attack it. It doesn't have a ton of resources. What it has is a lot of souls. So the Orgoth are interested in just killing a lot of people. So they attack it anyway. And it's not like built for defense. Like it was like a merchant city, or the merchant country. It did a lot of trade. It had like mercenaries. It had Castellans, as they are called in this. But it wasn't ever built for warfare. Like they did most of their stuff like politically and through like spies and things like that.
Well, in the old fluff, that had a lot to do with Crucible Guard.
Yes, so the Crucible Guard is seated there. But they talk about Crucible Guard and how like they're not really built for warfare. Like they have a lot of experimental weapons and stuff like that, but they're not built for like long-term like sieges and just like general, like when a real fighting force shows up, they're not equipped to deal with it, kind of a thing. And actually, a lot of it takes place as she's just sort of walking through, or floating rather. She's just sort of floating through the ruins of Marin, and there's just this cloud of like poison gas over the entire city that the Crucible Guard set off to like hurt the Orgoth as they conquered it. And it's a perspective that is meant to be alien, right? Like it's a eldritch, it's a non-human, and then like a step further. It's like an elf, but also undead. So it's even further from like the human experience. And I think it shows how like the end of it gives the title where she's just like,
I know
she's angry at the weakness of the humans. Like they're weak, and she's angry about that fact. But that sort of like gives her feeling, and that is like an experience that she hasn't had in a long time, being an eldritch, like having a feeling. But it gives an interesting perspective because they describe them as not like they're not entirely unfeeling, but they're like a person inside a house in a storm. Like the storm's out there.
Yeah.
And like that's where all the feelings are. They're out
Yep.
there and they exist, but they're out there and they're kind of protected from it. And so her experience walking through and just sort of like, I don't know, just growing angry at the weakness of the defenders here sort
cool.
of gives her a feeling. And that's she ends by saluting a corpse that she watched die, like dying from the poison gas.
Yeah.
So
nice. So I actually conflated the old ways with the piece about the gargantuans. So I want to go back and talk about old ways just for a second, because I love that story, and I know on one of the other podcasts I kind of glossed over the end real quick, but since we're talking about it, I'd reread the Old Ways Part 3, and I think there was stuff I missed in my first reading, and that's the one where you've got Sorsha the Butcher again. And her job is to keep Vlad's son Vlad safe. And
hungry baby.
Yeah. And then
he's back. He's back, everybody. Hungry baby's back.
We've done this bit. Butcher kidnaps him, and he was supposed to kill him.
Seth, you know what? It's never going to be done. You understand? No matter how much you want it to be done, it's never going to be done. Hungry baby lives.
Yeah, because takes him back to the Orgoth, who are like, hey, this is actually better. And then I don't know how I missed this the first time I read through it. He takes him back because he's like having an inner conflict of, am I a monster? Why am I a monster again? Oh, they brought back my, I had another daughter, but I killed her. Like it was, one of the typical Butcher. I'm so confused about what's actually reality, and when I kill people and don't kill people. And
it sounds like there's still a Darth Vader plot.
Yeah, and Sabrith, I know that sees his confusion and is like, hey, you might have an opportunity here to save this kid, because what the Orgoth do is they present him with his daughter reborn, and he's like, well, how's this possible? How'd you do this? And they're like, well, hey, you're this, tainted bloodline. She probably has it from you. We were able to find her in the void and bring her back. And hey, we're going to raise her as a witch. Isn't that great? And he's like, I don't want that for her. And I don't want this for him. And he's like, I'm going to get them both out. And Sabbath's like, well, hey, I can help you. And Butcher's like, I know she's not helping me because she likes me. I know she's not helping me because it's the right thing to do, quote unquote. She's obviously got a plan of her own, because that's the way she operates. But hey, help is help, and I'll take it. At the same time, Sorsha runs after baby Vlad, and her intention is to
hungry baby.
Yeah, rescue him. But with her is Drago, and Drago. And this is great description. They do this diversion attack, but Drago is going to lead them right to Vlad. And Drago goes like just bashing through walls, like one wall after another. He just, goes into this old fortress, like a straight line into the middle of the maze, just bashing through these walls. And of course, she's surprised to find Butcher there saying, here, take the kids, get out of here. And he's like, I'll fight you if you want. And, she's like, all right, I'm not going to fight you this time. He's like, all right, I agree this time, but they take the kids and go. But there's a line in there where Butcher makes a suggestion that maybe he's actually done being an Orgoth warcaster. And I'm wondering if they're going to have like Butcher 6, where he's a solo again or something.
Yeah, the old witch is going to come up with some crazy concoction to cure him of all of his ailments, and then he's going to rejoin his proper home of Kador.
It would be
not
wild.
Just be a douche.
It would be wild if he became some level of priest, right? Goes out on the battlefield healing instead of killing. That'd be funny.
No, that can't happen.
No, that can't happen. No, you don't want that.
No.
He's got a Mat 9 healing stick.
Well, it's true. I mean, you know what? If your leg is bothering you and you go see Dr. Butcher, the leg will never bother you again because he will simply amputate it.
That's correct.
That's right.
But then at the end of that story, both baby Vlad and his daughter show signs of Warcaster ability. Like Sorsha's like, all right, so I'm kind of directing Drago, but he's not really mine. He's really Vlad's. And they both the Butcher's kid and Vlad's kid are doing things with Drago. So
No, I
both,
figured out what's going to happen here. Right?
okay,
Check it
what's
out.
going to happen?
So the old witch was Kador, right? But then she's like, you know what? I'm going to come up with my own faction, which she did. And then now there's like the Umbry faction, which is probably our next pet project, because she was like, you know what? Running around with little seahorses and or whatever, rocking horses wasn't cool. So I'm going to come up with something else. So she came up with the new faction, right? And then what she did is at some point she cast a spell on Butcher to make him look like Vlad. And what you don't realize is that Sorsha's baby is really Butcher and Sorsha's baby, not Vlad and Sorsha's baby. Yeah. You see? And now there's going to be the holy communion of family, which is going to be a big base. And it's going to have Sorsha, Vlad, Butcher, and children all on the base. And that's your one Warcaster.
That would be a nightmare to play.
That'd be amazing. That'd be amazing. Are you kidding? Even if they did like Sorsha and Vlad and Junior, well, let's call them right, Umbry baby on one base. And it was the, I don't know, the royal family of Umbry. That'd be amazing.
Okay, so let's move on to Interstitial 4.
Interstitial 4.
Interstitial.
Or 3. We skipped 3.
I thought you summarized 2 and 3 together. I'm sorry.
No, so 3 is from the perspective of Kishtar. And she is, at the sack of Marin and is just sort of like hunting around and is very dissatisfied with everything that's going on. And she's like, all in my past lives, there were people that were like concerned about politics, and they keep talking to me in my head, and I don't like it. And what I like doing is killing people. Yeah. And then she finds a few people and she kills them, and she's like, this feels okay. Right. Because they're just like some like injured soldiers that she just like sends to hell. But then she stumbles upon Cyrafel and then is like, oh yeah, here we go. This will shut everybody up inside my head. And then she goes for it, and that's where it ends. So a lot of like just like internal conflict about like my past lives are just constantly like talking in my head. And it's very annoying, and I want to shut them up. All I want to do is kill. I don't want to do, or I hunt, sort of specifically. Yes, she wants to hunt, and then,
because this version of the Warcaster was raised by Orgoth wolves, right? So
so like that's what she wants to do. She's not interested in like advancing the house. She doesn't care about any of that. She just wants to hunt, and then she finds a worthy foe in Cyrafel. And then we cut away, so we don't see what happens.
Right.
Okay. Well, so then 4.
Then 4, which I found surprising only because I'm always surprised when they remove plot armor.
Mm-hmm.
I got to be honest. I like it when characters die in the fluff and then you can't play them anymore in the game. But I understand why they don't do that. But yeah, so we've got the death of Admiral Boomhowler.
Well, she's not dead, right?
Well,
in it, she's not dead, but it is very much like, hey, you're gonna be dead, and then, but that happens sometimes, right?
Yeah.
So,
yeah, they don't often share the killing blow per se, but there's a really cool part at the end where, Nicaine is gloating. Right, Nicaine is just gloating over Admiral Boomhowler. Boomhowler's fleet has been defeated. Admiral Boomhowler is hanging, I think, upside down, right in the hold of the ship, and Nicaine is gloating, and it's pretty wild. And we thought for the holidays here on our fluffy episode that we would do some Bokur Brawl theater, and we would have have us perform that last page of Interstitial 4 And Arthur, we would like you to play the role of Nicaine in your most Staten Island of voices.
Wait, I thought we were going for the demonic Rabbit.
Demonic Rabideau instead? Okay. So we're going to have Mr. Rabideau doing what you were going to do, the Sith Emperor, right? Was that the voice you were shooting for there?
I don't know. We'll see. We'll see how it comes out.
And then I'm going to do the narrator parts as an old Jewish man.
And I say we change it up a little bit. One of you has to do it as Mr. Hanky, and the other one has to do it as Bart Simpson.
Or we can do with our plan. And,
okay, yeah.
And
but Mr. Hanky and Bart Simpson would have been pretty funny. That's all I'm saying.
Sure. But I don't know how Mr. Hanky sounds, and I don't want to try.
Hi-yo.
Outstanding. All right, Mr. Rabideau, I believe you have, and we're just doing the last page there for everyone's enjoyment. Bokur Brawl Theater, Nicaine, take it away.
You failed them, their precious self-styled admiral.
The final word came out as a vicious sneer.
Tell me, Admiral, how many lives depend upon you to keep the motley wretches of the brackish lake unified as one?
The elven witch smiled, although it was without the slightest hint of warmth.
With all your graces, you are little but a pirate warlord. Another petty thug, incapable of anything beyond stealing from those weaker than you.
Boomhalla could do nothing but listen, as the witch spat contempt after contempt. Once she might have decried each word as a lie. She was a pirate, yet she believed actions in the past had just and with some degree of honor. She had found assurance knowing she had acted in the best interest of a people. Her intention was only to save them from hardship. Could she truly have said she did not enjoy the trappings of power and deference paid to her by captains of the fleets under her command? Knowing that despite his protests, Badlock Firecrow would always accede to her arguments and orders, no matter how he might disagree. Boomhalla felt her resolve weaken. Doubt crept in. First, a single intrusive thought, and then a flood, twisting and corrupting her memories, even as she tries to rationalize them.
I sense the turmoil within you. You would do well not to fight it. It will become a familiar bedfellow soon enough.
The witch leaned in close, so close Boomhalla could feel the deathly chill of her tormentor's breath as she whispered into Boomhalla's ear.
Those that lurk within this ancient hive merely mean to see you destroyed, to watch the miserable scum that you call your allies scatter to the winds without their warlord, or murder each other in the vacuum of power. I, however, have another plan for you. Your body shall perish, your soul consumed. But in doing so, I will not only destroy your alliance, but also craft a signal. The suffering and expiration of the descendant of Bragg shall become a message that can be heard by my master in the void.
The light abruptly died, leaving Boomhalla in darkness as miserable blackness closed in, and the pressure-crushing Boomhalla's mind returned. Nicaine uttered a final sentence.
Your death shall be his summons.
All right, well done. Nice. And the question is, what is being summoned? And honestly, is it something new that we have not seen, or is it something from the past, like a past Crixian something that's going to be brought back? What do you think?
Oh, it's Gorshade. 100%. It's Gorshade.
You think it's Gorshade?
Did Gorshade die?
Oh yeah, he died. He died, and then he.
What are you talking about? I thought he was forgiven. I thought he went back to Retribution.
you know.
Yeah, no, that happened. So he became Gershield the Forgiven.
Yeah.
Because Syra was like, "Hey, this guy's cool, actually." Like he broke into the temple to kill them, and then Sheila was like, "Hey, guess what? You're alive again." And then,
No, but I thought the whole point was that he had to kill the god in order to put souls back in retribution.
yeah. So what happened was he became alive again, and he was like, "All right," and then like that was Gorshade 4 was him becoming alive.
Because he turned himself into a lich in order to stay alive to finish his mission.
Yeah,
Correct.
Arthur,
Well,
Arthur, you're missing a piece here. So he becomes an eldritch. So to stay alive, to finish his mission, to get himself in a position to kill Skyra, right? He gets there, hits her with the sword. Skyra wakes up and he says, "Hey, I'm doing this to get all the souls back into the elves." And she's like, "You misunderstand. You don't get any of this. You think you know, but you don't know." And then he flees out of there, and then we get the plot line where he gets forgiven and becomes Gershield the Forgiven. Right. So all that happened, and now how do we get from Gershield to dead again?
So I think he's like, this god doesn't know what she's talking about. That's Gorshade's way, right? Like he cannot accept ever that he's wrong about anything. So you get the incident of the claiming, which is when like the Infernals all showed up, right?
Right.
End times for War Machine. And that ends with him like somehow he like combines, he like captures like a void archon or something, and he like binds it to himself, or he kills it, or he eats it or something, and he like combines its power with his. And then oh, what's her name? Falsier jumps out of nowhere and is like, "Hey, guess what? Rune." And then she like does something to him that like binds him to earth, and then she like kills him with her axe. And that's like his, final end is like I think he also like commands everybody under him to betray the score and start shooting them all in the back, because they were working together at that point. But then she kills him, like Falsier kills him. And that's where he was left. And then now obviously he's coming back. Like I want to make it clear, I don't have any insider knowledge. If SFG is like, "Oh my gosh, he knows something," I don't, but it is pretty obvious. Like she's an elf, Nicane's an elf. Like,
yeah, it's true. It's true. I didn't even go there. I didn't even think about it. So maybe that's
it's
what it
Gorshade.
is.
It's gotta be Gorshade. Like,
all
and you know what? I'm here for it. I'm here for it. Bring him back.
Hey, I like all of it. I like the fluff connecting to the game. I really do. And I'm glad we took some time to talk about it. So I appreciate it. All right. So that takes us through our agenda for the night. As we do our closing thoughts, I would like you guys to throw out a wish for what you really hope is in the update, and keep it simple, keep it short, but closing thoughts there, Mr. Rabideau.
I wish that Legacy sees some important updates, and I think the most important update is that the Stormblade captain gets obliterated from orbit. I hate that guy. I'm incredibly jealous of him, and he needs to just get deleted from the game. So that's what I'm hoping for come January. Delete the Stormblade captain, please, SFG. I'm begging you.
All right, Arthur, closing thoughts, sir.
I can't believe his wish was death. Amazing. After all this death talk, it continued.
It's in the theme for what he's been talking about today.
I wish for peace on Earth.
All right.
Actually, so
there can be no peace while the Stormblade captain is alive.
If I can have a wish, it would be that everybody is mandatorily required to watch at least 3 episodes of Little House on the Prairie every week, and to watch Charlie Brown as much as humanly possible.
In
that order,
Little House on the Prairie. What a great poll there.
I love Little House on the Prairie. I've been watching it again, and ever since it has the piece of advice that I have taken the most seriously in my entire life has come from Little House on the Prairie. And the fact that I remember it for over 30 years is amazing. And that very simply is, and I'm paraphrasing it ever so slightly, God helps those who help themselves.
Okay. So that's a big ask from SFG for in the update, but
Well, Steve wants
asked-
death, and I want peace on earth. I don't know. I mean, somewhere in the middle, they will land. That's all I know.
All right.
Like one of us is going to get more of our wish.
Yeah, it is true.
That's true. We'll see who gets more of their wish. Peace on Earth or the Stormblade Captain getting nuked from orbit. And I'll say I will accept no half measures. So it's possible that Arthur will get more of his wish. If Jamie stops a bar fight, then he's done it. He's done more of Arthur's wish than mine. If he says, "Hey man, don't say that," when somebody's like being rude, he's done more.
Yeah. Again, we're asking a lot of SFG here. So my wish is probably the least popular. Unpopular opinion here. I would love it if there was once again a minimum warjack requirement depending upon the point level of your game. I think that would be great.
Actually, all right. I want to change my answer.
Going from Peace on Earth to anything else is pretty rough because that was a pretty great answer. Peace on Earth.
It was a great answer. And no, I'm proud of that answer, but I'm just going to be greedy, like the type of person who wishes for more wishes.
Okay.
Okay.
So we want some dwarves, right? That has to be a wish. And then I really want to see a quad warjack.
Okay.
Quad
All right,
warjack?
that's cool.
Meaning
Quad.
what?
4
A
legs.
quad pedal.
Okay, so it's got 4 legs. Okay.
Yeah. Nice. All right.
It doesn't have to be a warjack, by the way. I guess it could be a war beast, but a warjack would be better. But I'll take either one.
Or an 80mm battle engine. That'd be cool too. Yeah.
Or Peace on Earth.
Okay.
Or peace on Earth. So their choice, whatever they can do, we can either have dwarves, a quad warjack, or peace on Earth, whichever one they're capable of.
I just like that we're holding SFG to a very high standard here on our wish list. So,
Well,
done.
I don't. Yeah, I'm not going to put too much pressure on it. Like, no pressure, peace on Earth. I get it. No pressure.
All right.
But the other two, they are certainly in control of.
That is true. So, gentlemen, as always, thank you for joining me. I hope everyone has a fantastic holiday because we're not recording. I know we're going to see each other, but we're not recording again until after our tournament on the 23rd. And until next time, this is Seth Cohen saying, I don't care if you're celebrating something, not celebrating something, just make sure that the people you love know that you love them.